Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this brief presentation about energy vibrations change everything. I'm Dr. Cecil Cockerham, and I'm your teacher for a few moments as we run through this video clip here. And I think you'll find some things that may be challenging, inspirational, and can really change your life for the better. So let's get right into it. You can literally have anything you want. Really, you're only limited by weakness of attention and poverty of imagination. I'd like to think about that for a moment. Really, give some thought. You're only limited by weakness of attention. So, what does this mean? Weakness of attention. You have perception, will, reason, imagination, memory, and intuition. These are all our higher faculties. This is what makes us who we really are. This is what separates us from the rest of the animal kingdom. In fact, Neville Gardner has said you're only limited by weakness of attention. That's not an original statement with me. I got that from Neville. And I think it says a lot of value as we look into this lesson to see what are we talking about here. The imagination is the most marvelous, miraculous, inconceivable power force that the world has ever known. It's great. It'll take you anywhere and to give you anything you want. That's a beautiful thing, you know. So let's take a look at what the law of vibration starts. It starts right in your own mind that activates brain cells. And when those brain cells are activated, you impact the whole universe. Do you know that thought waves are cosmic waves that penetrate all time and space? You see, as you begin studying this, they're huge. I don't think the vast majority of us have ever been introduced to who we really are. I think that if a person starts to show some promise of developing a healthy self-image, they'll be told that they're conceited. Maybe you've been told that before. That's not the way it should be. And of course, we have to believe and have believed a lot of other bad information. The law of vibration starts in your own marvelous mind. I've taken some of the most complicated material and reduced it to some of the simplistic forms I can, because that's the only way I was going to do this. I had teachers that helped me greatly by doing this as well. Now, Lincoln says something absolutely incredible. And if you only can get this one idea, it's worth your time watching this short video presentation. He said, to believe in a thing that you can see and touch is no belief at all. But he also says something absolutely incredible. He said, believe in something that you can see and touch is no belief at all. But to believe in the unseen is a triumph and blessing. I've got to state that one more time. He said, to believe in a thing that you can see and touch is no belief at all. But to believe in the unseen is a triumph and a blessing. Think of that. Think about things that you could see and touch is no belief at all, according to Lincoln. But the unseen is a triumph and a blessing when we can believe in the unseen. Let me tell you something. The unseen is where the action is, shall I say. Do you know the biggest part of you you've never seen? The real you is spirit. That's right, spirit. We've got to start to understand this. We've got to get into the right slot in our mind. We've got to realize that much of that we don't know. Isn't that amazing? There's so much we don't know. Our educational and religious systems, they're so lacking in teaching us who we really are. You can study psychology or any of the other ologies, but most people have never really got to know themselves. I'm talking about in depth, who they are, their relationship to the whole scheme of things, like their relationship to God. People just don't know. We're spirit beings. We came out of Father God. We have an assignment here, and we are sons and daughters of God. We're spirit beings. As someone has said, slow down to visibility, and we'll return to God when our assignment is finished. It's really that simple. We're just spirit beings, slow down to visibility that we can see each other here in this earth realm we call earth. Talk about an infinite power. You're created in that image and power. We're as He is now. We have infinite potential locked up inside of us. And we want to do it is to learn how to use it for the good in us as well as others. There's a lot of people in certain circles who talk about the great potential that's in us, but they don't say who it is. But I want to tell you, it's the God in you is that potential. That's the God in you, the Spirit. We're spirit beings. What we want to do is learn how to use it for the good in us and the good for others. It's been said that those who tell stories truly rule society. Learn a lot of stories. In fact, you are a story. Now think about that. You are a story. You have a story to tell, irregardless of what you think. And some people want to hear your story because it encourages people, even through your trials and tribulations. You are a mass of energy that functions by running on frequencies. I would suggest that you go look on YouTube or music for the different hertz or frequencies. I very often listen to those with my earbuds on as I'm relaxing in my recliner. There's some great frequencies that can change the way that you feel. You might not think of yourself that way. You may say, well, what's this got to do with anything? Well, if you really understood it, you can attract more money. In fact, you can attract good health. You can attract great relationships, a phenomenal business, or a great ministry. It's all within you. Jesus said the kingdom is within us, and in the kingdom, there's everything that we need. In fact, we've already been given everything that we need for life and godliness. That's all spiritual and physical things that we need. If you don't know what you want to do, you're just going to drift. It's like a floating leaf on a windy day. You're not going anywhere. You're a mass energy, as I said, and you function on frequencies. In fact, if you take a picture of yourself with a Carolean camera, you're going to see yourself as a glistening radiation form. You're radiating form. This Russian photographer was back in 1935 or 34 who helped perfect the Curlin photography. It's named after him. And it's very important that you can see. In fact, by taking a picture of a photo mass, for instance, you can take a picture of a plant and you can see the energy coming off of the plant. You can see that there's a vibration coming from the plant. You know why? Because everything vibrates. A garden is vibrating, rocks are vibrating, everything moves, everything, nothing's at rest. Now, why am I telling you this? I'm telling you that because I think it's mighty important that you really understand. See, you see, energy functions on frequencies, and that's what you're made of. You're a mass of living energy. That's what this lesson is all about. If you get this concept, you will gather in your own mind what I've actually communicated. You see, energy functions on frequencies, and that's what you're made of. You're just a mass of living energy. And that's the concept that we learned from Einstein. Everything is energy. A frequency is a level of vibration. That is exactly what a frequency is. There's a number of frequencies. There's multitudes of frequencies. Remember, when you think it activates brain cells, and when set off a charge of energy, and then you can say that's important. If you misunderstand this, you have misunderstood a very important point because there's an infinite number of frequencies. Einstein said everything's energy, and that's all there is to it. That's the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. I've got to state this one more time because this is the crux of the lesson. Albert Einstein said everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot but help get that reality. It can be no other way. It's not philosophy, this is physics I'm teaching you. And the primary cause of good that you desire is in this series. You take care of the cause, and the effect will take care of itself. The effect will always take care of itself. In fact, Emerson said the law of cause and effect was one of the most important laws in the universe. Well, I don't know if I totally agree with that, but he's certainly pretty close. One thing is for sure, everything is energy. Think of that. All there is this. Everything is energy. Now, Earl Nightingale said essentially the same thing back in 1959. He talked about Dr. Albert Schweitzer being interviewed in a London airport. When he got off the plane, the reporters asked the doctor, "What's wrong with man today?" He thought about it for a while. He said, "Man simply doesn't think." Let me say that again. Man simply doesn't think. Now, everybody thinks with little understanding. He says, mental activity does not constitute thinking. If you're reading social media, yeah, well, you know that's true. You have five senses, okay? And those five senses are affected and it causes mental activity. That is not thinking, it only causes pictures to fly in your mind. And that's not thinking. If you hear a siren in the background right now and you see a fire truck or an ambulance on the screen of your mind, well, you see there's some activity. Thus, that's not necessarily higher faculty thinking. These higher faculties Most people only know about a little bit. Oh, they've heard the word every now and then, and you have some perceptions. The will, reason, imagination, memory, and intuition are higher faculties. These are what literally separates us from the rest of the animal kingdom. The animal kingdom is completely at home in their environment. They blend in, and you and I are just orientated in our environment. We're this is orientated because we have been given a godlike ability to create our own environment. The turning point in the lives of those who succeed usually come at the moment of some crisis to which it reduces that person to their own selves. But I just turned 82 in July, and I feel like I'm just getting started, just getting warmed up. I have no intention of slowing down. I'm connected to two seminaries and several certification programs, and that has impacted several hundred students worldwide. But how did this happen? Honestly, I could not figure it out. The only explanation is that God had chosen in eternity past for me to be born at this time to make an impact in the kingdom. You know, I see it. I was just blessed. But I had a limited knowledge as to what that really meant. I just had an innate awareness as to that my lot in life. Wow. I knew I wasn't really smart, but my belief in God empowered me to earn two doctorate degrees and to be actively involved in seminaries and several certification programs. Well, that's a great achievement that most people don't know about me. And one of those is that I was the national training director of a major sales force in the United States that I retired in 2000. I've been a while in this business of education and training. I'm going to show you a different concept. I'm going to explain something that's very simple in a simple way. I don't want to complicate it. It's about your mind. It's all about awareness. There's a marvelous inner world that exists within us, in all of us. It's called the kingdom of God. And the revelation of such a world enables us to do, to attain, to achieve anything we desire within the bounds of our imagination. It's what God has given us. And that is a beautiful thing. If we go back to Einstein, if we get the picture anchored, hear me closely, we get into the energy of the good we desire, you can't help but to have it manifest. Now, this sounds a lot like quantum physics language today. Make a circle. The big circle represents your mind. The top half of it is your conscious mind. The bottom half is your subconscious mind. You've seen this example many times if you've gone to any kind of training at all. It's very, very popular. Now, I think a good book on the subconscious mind is one by Dr. Joseph Murphy on the power of the subconscious mind. Now, this is a phenomenal book. He said that when you think of yourself, you have got to have an image. Most importantly, you must develop an image of what you want to become. And this I have learned after many, many years of higher education. This is such a true statement. Most people do not have an inner image of who they want to be. They're just being everything that everybody else has told them to be, but not who they perhaps want to be because they haven't decided on it themselves and they've not developed that image. They don't see themselves as successful, as courageous, as healthy, and so on and on. You've got to understand the mind's everything in your life. You got to learn how to work with it. Let's look at it this way. There is the mind. There's a positive side, and a negative side. He said that represents the law of polarity, the law of opposites. Some people are getting the negative side of their negative mind. There's a power flowing into your conscious, and it's your consciousness. You create thoughts. You literally create thoughts from a power that flows into your conscious mind. But well, now let's see what you do with it. You can originate thought. You can think something that no one else has ever thought of before. You have the ability to do this. It's the thoughts that you think in your conscious mind that impress upon your subconscious mind. I hope you're getting this. That causes you to feel the way you feel. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibrations. That's the reason why I listen to these types of vibrational energy uh, things on my headphones at night. There's a lot of free information on YouTube on vibrations, hertz, sounds that can change your way that you feel and what you believe. It's a conscious decision to go do your own research. Those feelings are expressed with and through your physical body that causes the actions which produce a result. Oh, wow, what an idea. It's called attitude. Now, some people, uh, well, they have a negative side. Well, you met those people. And other people, they have more of a positive side. Other people on the positive side, they see what's good. And they're right. Then there's to find the other people on the other side or the negative side, and they're right too. You get what you believe, so that's what you're manifesting because it's lodged in your subconscious, which is stronger than the conscious mind. You can look up information on the subconscious mind, and you'll find out that's what the action is. It doesn't make you matter what you're looking for. If you want to find what's wrong with my presentation, just looking, take a pen, and you're going to get busy. Because you can find fault, you can find blemishes, you can find a lot of things wrong. But that's just the way life is. Some people are always looking for the negative side, and other people are looking for the positive side. Let me tell you what, positives reap positives, and negatives reap negatives. That's what I've been saying as a coach, counselor, and mentor for more than 25 years. What are you reaping? Well, that's what you're sowing. So what are you sowing? If you don't like what you're reaping, maybe you need to do a little different sowing. That means you need to get into that subconscious mind with the right belief system and have a picture of who you want to be because it can be different. I know it can because I've been doing this a long, long time as a coach, counselor, and mentor. Now, if you need a free Zoom evaluation, I have that available for you. Just email me, drcecil@iocc.us. That's all it takes to say I want a free Zoom evaluation on the way I'm thinking and feeling. Let's find out what the Spirit would say in your situation. You can reach me, drcecil at iocc.us. That's it. And I'll be happy to communicate with you, get together with a private free Zoom. It doesn't cost you anything. And let's see what we can find out. It might be uh, for you in a way I've been doing it a long time. And certainly I'm not going to charge you a fee to find out what's going on. Love to help you any way that I can, but the main idea of this presentation is I want you to change the way you think, because the scriptures have said, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So if you want to change the is about what you are, then change the way you think. And that can change your life forever. Anyway, be blessed today, as I always say, because you already